You now have your enemies afraid and intimidated. They have lost their self-confidence because they realize that what you're building, you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with the help of God. Hello, Light Warriors. It's Bella Bashan here. Today's word is something you are making a very large amount of progress in a short amount of time. That's what the Holy Spirit was placing in my spirit. The Holy Spirit was saying, like, something's gonna happen a lot faster than what you thought, basically. And it could be within a period of around 52 days, according to this biblical story about Nehemiah. This is the story of Nehemiah's large amount of progress in a short period of time. And in the book of Nehemiah, and by the way, I have written myself a little script here just to help me so I don't forget details, in case you guys are wondering why I've been reading. So it helps me keep my focus so I don't forget what I'm trying to say. But Nehemiah is granted permission by the Persian king to Jerusalem to rebuild the walls which had been destroyed by the Babylon exile. Nehemiah immediately sets to work rallying the people of Jerusalem to begin the monumental task of rebuilding. So this story makes me feel like this is not your first rodeo, basically. You have been working on something and it may have failed. This might not be your first time of trying to build something, and I can heavily relate to this as well. And so you could be trying to rebuild something and feeling like Lord, how long is this process going to be going for? But the Holy Spirit wants to come in and give you encouragement today and say it's going to be a lot faster than what you expected this time around. The rebuilding process the progress is going to be in a short amount of time. You're making a large amount of progress in a short amount of time. Or this is the way people are seeing you right now as well. And so Nehemiah started rebuilding this wall despite facing opposition and ridicule from his enemies. So if you're relating to this word, many of you could have been building something that seemed impossible and have been ridiculed by friends, family, your community, people who didn't believe in you, enemies. So he was ridiculed from nearby enemies, and Nehemiah and his team continued to complete the project in a remarkably short amount of time, despite the ridicule. So this is also encouragement to keep going in spite of what things look like, in spite of the people around you that could be putting you down or projecting their own fears onto you, what they feel like they can do. And a lot of the times our enemies just want to put fear on us just because they don't want to see us succeed. So in Nehemiah, in the book of Nehemiah 6:15 through 16, it states that the wall was completed on the 25th day of, I don't know how to say this, Elul, in just 52 days. When all the enemies heard about this, all the surrounding nations were afraid and they lost their self-confidence. So your people who have been working against you, witches and warlocks, which, by the way, for those resonating with this word, you have had witches and warlocks working against you, and I saw a vision of it yesterday. And for some of you, it's not just one. Yesterday I had a vision of a warlock, and in this vision it was a man with a beard, like kind of like it wasn't somebody who I would think looked like a warlock. He almost looked like a cowboy to me, but I had this vision and he it was demonic. He started raising his hands to worship something evil, praying in evil tongues, and his eyes turned this black red color. And then I also had this vision of a witch. It was this lady. She was sitting at and I don't know who either of these people were, so it could be people, you know, you don't know working against you, or people who are hired to work against you, people who see you online. Maybe you guys will recognize these people. But the witch, she was sitting at a table. It looked like almost like a tea time or an outside setting with multiple ladies there. She was drinking a glass of champagne or a glass of that drink. I don't know, it looked like a drink with the orange juice and the champagne, and she was like laughing and her face just turned evil. So it's like somebody, and she looked like the evil lady from the Cinderella movie, the stepmom from that, with the weird hairdo on the neck, the shirt that came all the turtleneck all the way up to here. She had like some type of updo in her hair. But anyway, so this is confirmation that you have had enemies working against you. But these witches and warlocks, they see you rebuilding and it's freaking them out. They are realizing there's nothing they can do to stop your progress because you have God working with you. And so this progress, whatever you might see, an explosion of growth over the next 52 days of an all of the sudden, faster than you thought possible, acceleration on what you've been working on. And so these witches, the enemies, that they lost confidence because they realized that Nehemiah and his team had been working with God. And so through Nehemiah's leadership and the cooperation of the people of Jerusalem, the wall was rebuilt in just 52 days, in an impressive feat and testament to the power and the unity of perseverance. So whatever you're doing, it is a testimony, and it's an impressive testimony to something that God is doing on your life. So keep going and don't give up. Over the next 52 days, you will see impressive and explosive, all of the sudden, something that seemed like an impossible feat to finish, you will see explosive growth in this thing that you've been working on. I love you. I hope this brings some confirmation into your spirit. Give it a thumbs up if it did. Subscribe to see more videos, and I'll talk to you again later.